Hello, welcome to the pre-show as RIZIN kicks off the season 2026 tomorrow at the Ariake Arena with RIZIN.52. I am joined by the matchmaker for RIZIN, Shingo Kashiwagi, and of course former RIZIN fighter, former UFC fighter, my verbal sparring partner, beatdown Damian Brown. Shingo, I've got to say, a hell of a card to kick off 2026 for RIZIN.
Yeah, you can't put it any better than that. I mean, this is a solid lineup. You know, we have the upcoming star Kyoma Akimoto, a 19-year-old kid making his headlining for the second time. Who's done that before, you know? And we got Patchy Mix coming down. From top to bottom, we've got all sorts of great fights, and I can't wait.
Folks, there is such a mix on this card. Gustavo versus Sakuraba could be a show stealer, of course. A fight that you could say is maybe 25 years in the making. Of course, Taisei Sakuraba's father fighting the trainer of Luis Gustavo, Vanderlei Silva, back in the old Pride days. Takagi versus Kimura, Ayamoto and Kolesnik is now Koji Kikeda, of course, fighting that one. Kate Lotus and Saori Oshima, Carlos Mota, a whole swag of international fighters on the card. And of course, Hideo Tokoro, amazing, 48 years old. Shingo, I remember 15 years ago commentating him winning the Dream Bantamweight Grand Prix title, and here he is, maybe, not officially, maybe his final ever fight.
He's been saying that he wants 2 more. So he's looking after this, but like, how inspiring is it? At 48 years old, still going, continuing to inspire. Damien, what do you think about, as a fighter, he's 48 years old and still fighting?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I mentioned earlier, I think that if we looked at the stats, there's probably a lot of the athletes over 40 years old actually come out and cause the upset in RIZIN. So, you know, it's really common that we see the older athlete compete on RIZIN and they come out and they really put on a showstopper. Often they have the best fights. It's either they get finished or they finish people. So I'm really looking forward to tomorrow. He's a legend, and I can't wait to watch that one go down.
Shingo, Patchy Mix looking to make a big statement in this main event. He's already said that this is the first step on a showdown he wants on New Year's Eve with Razabala Shadolaev.
Yeah, Patchy has a clear vision. You know, he's been repeatedly saying that he wants to show Patchy 2.0. You know, him making bantamweight has been a very tough task every single time, and he's been saying that, you know, it's affected his performance. And I've seen him through Fight Week. He seems happy, he seems healthy, and he seems like he's good to go.
Damien, most people are going to consider the 19-year-old Akimoto a big underdog in this one, but how much of an underdog should we consider him? How much of a favourite do we consider Patchy?
Look, you know, I mean, one has the international runs on the board, so to speak, and the history, and Akimoto being 19 years of age and up and coming. I can see why they would make him an underdog, but I really think that if we looked at the fight as a whole, Akimoto, with the elite level striking that he has, the eye for, you know, his distance. I always talk about whenever he fights, his distance, his ability to see things, make adjustments, and he puts people away. Patchy Mix needs to get the fight to the ground at some point, but every fight starts on the feet, and I really think that's where the difference will be in this fight.
Okay, folks, our weigh-ins in our pre-show about to start behind us here. We are in beautiful Shinagawa. It's a nice, cool day outside in Tokyo. Strap yourselves in for the pageantry of our pre-show weigh-ins.
予定より10分遅れてのスタートになりました。申し訳ございませんでした。配信の方をご覧になっている皆様、そして会場にお集まりのファンの皆様、こんにちは。皆さん、いよいよ2026年シーズンRIZIN開幕戦が始まります。皆さん、盛り上がってますか？
So Mr. Suzuki
もうちょっと言っちゃいましょうか。
is saying,
盛り上がってますか？
are we ready to start, kick off the year 2026?
それでは2026年シーズンの開幕戦RIZIN.52
Fans are here.
Just off to my left, lots of fans here jammed into this hall here in Shinagawa to watch the first weigh-ins of 2026 for RIZIN.
皆様ぜひ決戦を翌日に控えた
We will be weighing in the entire card today. We may see a little bad blood between some of the fighters on this card. We do expect there have been some words between Akimoto and Patchy Mix, so look out for that one. And I do wonder the responses from Gustavo and Sakuraba also in that co-main event tomorrow at the Ariake Arena. Don't forget, you can book the pay-per-view worldwide on RIZIN TV. It will be our 17th event on RIZIN TV as as RIZIN kicks off 2026 with RIZIN.52.
You know, the funny thing about, you mentioned Luis Gustavo and Taisei Sakuraba, 25 years in the making, it's, you know, the story goes on and on. However, Mr. Sakuraba, he is such a unique character. After all this story build-up, you assume that he's going to be in his son's corner.
He's not going to be there tomorrow?
He doesn't want to come.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, this isn't the first time we've seen this.
Exactly.
I think he was there for Taisei's first fight, but then last time we didn't see Sakuraba Sr.
Yeah.
He's an enigma. He always has been.
Absolutely. The more demand there is, he's not going to show up. So I've heard like Sakuraba Jr. has asked him, his dad, if you come, it's going to be good for the fans. You have to come. He's talking about the more you push him, the farther he's going to go away. So we'll see. That's going to be one thing to look forward to. Is he going to show up tomorrow or not?
元気があれば何でもできる。アントニオ猪木がそう言いました。ぶちかましていきましょう。2026年。みんな準備できてる？ちょっと盛り上がりに欠けてない？ WBC よりも。
Because you got the WBC, World Baseball Classic, happening right now in Tokyo. So we're going against that. So tomorrow it's going to be fights versus baseball. So we need the hype. We need all the fans to be excited. We need to be able to beat the WBC, the WBS, I'm sorry, happening at the same time tomorrow.
I'll tell you what, if you turn out here at the weigh-in alone is any indication, the Kakutogi spirit is certainly alive for 2026 here in Tokyo in anticipation for RIZIN.52 tomorrow.
So Sakuraba-san saying, we've got all fighters made weight, they're all super professionals. They look like they're in tremendous shape and ready to put on a show tomorrow. So see their atmosphere, see how they look like the day before the fight. Let us begin the ceremonial weigh-ins. Thank you.
So the words from Sakakibara-san. You know, Shingo, I've heard pre-show hype speeches from promoters for many, many, many years. Today was the first time I'd heard Sakakibara-san deliver his because I had the translation in my ear, the English. His words are superb. Like, I feel like I could go in the ring tomorrow and perform. He really does psych up the fighters, but also bring in that warrior martial arts Budo code, doesn't he?
The key thing is that it's very unique. Like, we don't care about results. Even if you win or lose, it doesn't really matter to us. If you inspire the fans, if you inspire and move people's hearts, that's what we want.
And Damien, as you know, that's a very different approach from a lot of Western organisations.
Yeah, for sure. It's something that I definitely remember myself from back in 2018 was that speech. Like, I'll never forget that first time I heard that as a fighter. It's both encouraging and motivating, but also reassuring. Because in a world where, you know, prize fighting, you can lose your job tomorrow, it's reassuring to know that if I just go out there and I put it all on the line and I perform, there's a good chance of me coming back. You know, and that's really what athletes want. You know, we're out there putting on the line, and the results don't always go our way. But as long as we do our best, and not just our best to win, but our best to finish, we're going to come back and we're going to get that opportunity again. It's something you don't get anywhere else, but it's very motivating as well to sit up there and hear it.
Yeah, like in an extreme case, you can go 0-10, and if the fans still want to see you, you'll have a job here.
I know the fans want to see these two. Bomi Lee takes on Noel, the first fight tomorrow at the Ariake Arena. Bomi Lee, of course, from South Korea. Noel, the Japanese representative. They'll be fighting over 5x3 at 49 kilos.
Bomi 選手 48.9
Now, another thing we want to mention here, Shingo, that Sakakibara-san also was discussing earlier, a new rule set comes into effect tomorrow for RIZIN.
Yes, so RIZIN has always, Japanese MMA has always scored the fights as a total must system. Because it means that you don't judge the scores per round. You have to look at the total fight to determine who won the fight. However, starting 2026, we're going to use a dual must system. Basically, it's a round must point system. So all the judges are going to score each round with a 10-point must system. It's going to be a 10. The winner's going to get 10, and the loser's going to get 9 or less.
Damien, I like it. I like the accountability of the judges. I like to see the clarity of the judges and exactly know how they're going to score. And for the fighter's perspective, that's going to be a good thing too.
Yeah, for sure. And even better is having the background, like the understanding of what's behind that scoring system. So, you know, the damage, significant damage, effective damage, dominance, duration. being able to break that down answers a lot of questions for a fighter after a fight. Hey, why didn't I get the 10-9? Well, here it is. This is why the judges gave it the other way. And it's, you know, if you thought you won, maybe it's like a little bit of like reassurance that, you know, the right decision was read out, or maybe it's for you to go away and work on next time to get better under those rules. But I think also for the fans, it's good because a lot of fans will watch a fight and they're like, oh, but that guy won. But really, if they can then get, because they're going to be published, right? So
yes, it's going to be all transparent.
It's all being transparent, it's all being published. So a fan will be able to see why the decision was given. And I think that's going to make it better for everyone.
So good way in there for Bomi Lee and Noel. Noel, of course, quintet star, grappling superstar, and big things mooted for that young lady. That is the first of Japan versus South Korea. And so too is our second fight tomorrow at the Ariake Arena when Cho Arai takes on Jung Hyun Lee. Once again, Japan versus South Korea. This one 5-3. It will be at 57 kilos. So international battles to open up tomorrow's card. Once again, make sure you watch on RIZIN TV, our 17th event on RIZIN TV. And of course, grab yourself a annual subscription, a premium pass for RIZIN TV. It allows you to watch our entire digital archive, including over 700 fights and over 100 hours of exclusive content with the pay-per-views included on RIZIN TV.
Now, I'm actually excited for this fight. This is going to be a banger. Joe Arai actually came over to me and said, thank you very much for booking me for the second fight of the night. I know what you want from me. I'm going to deliver that.
Damien, he's a finisher. 10 finishes, 9 knockouts, 1 submission. Joe Arai knows how to finish opponents.
Yeah, 100%. And just a little bit more on what Shingo said. We say all the time on the commentating that the first fight or second, you know, like the earlier fights, they set the tone for the card. So that's what he means by that. He's like, I'm second fight on the card. I know what you want. I've got to set the stage for what's to come. So, you know, he's already a finisher, and tomorrow night you'd expect that. That's exactly what he's looking to do, and what he understands and he set his mind to. So that's going to be an explosive one for sure.
Jung Hyun Lee, 23 years old, 7-3 pro record. Joe Arai, who managed to turn his career around after at one point he actually lost 7 straight fights, all by finish, and then after that won 11 straight with 8 finishes and became Shuto's double champion. So very early on tomorrow at the Ariake Arena, we are going to see fireworks, no doubt, between these two. Once again, Japan versus South Korea. Joe Arai and Jung Hyun Lee face to face for the first time, and look at the stare down there from Joe Arai.
Oh yeah, this is going to be a good one.
You can feel the intensity there, Shingo.
Oh yeah. Both guys are hungry for their first win in RIZIN. One's going to get it. It's a battle for survival.
Okay, folks, up next is going to be Takaki Sawyer versus Tony Laramie. You talk about Tony Laramie, Damien, you talk about a guy who knows how to bring the violence every time.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, his results haven't been perfect since he came to RIZIN, but his performances, you know, even when he was on the skates early on in one of his fights, he was just fighting on instinct and he still managed to stay in the fight. So,
case in point to what you were saying before, Shingo, it doesn't matter if you lose, as long as you're going out in your shield and giving your all. And Laramie does that every time.
Absolutely. I think his fight against Yuki Ito proved that. He put on a show, he went for the finish, he was swinging for the fences, he lost the fight by decision, but that's what people remember Tony Laramie for. They remember his fight more than Yuki Ito over his most recent dominant fight against Wataru Yamauchi. So that's what the boss is talking about. You go, take the risk, and give it your all, and that's what you're going to be remembered for, and that's why you're going to be back.
Takaki Sawyer, 4-3 RIZIN record, all but 1 win by knockout or TKO, the former junior high baseball star. And Tony Laramie, 11-3 pro record, 6 wins by knockout, 3 of his last 4 wins by first round KO. And most people you ask here, folks, including the fans, don't believe this one will go the distance tomorrow at Ariake Arena. Once again, Takaki Sawyer, Tony Laramie, Japan versus Canada. Make sure you book the pay-per-view live worldwide on RIZIN.TV tomorrow. Got to respect any man, Damien, with a mullet and a vest like that.
I'll tell you what, I was actually just thinking it when you brought it up, but a man with a mullet like that's coming to party, that's for sure. and you know he's not going to back down, right?
Party in the back, business in the front.
Yeah, we're in for a treat for this one. These guys have the same style. They can wrestle, they can bang. They utilize their wrestling for their striking. So they're going to come and strike.
Next fight's going to be Japan versus the USA when Shoko Sato takes on John Sweeney. Shingo, how did this one come about between Sweeney and Sato?
I've had my eyes on John Sweeney for quite a while now. He's very explosive. He's got that karate style from the Uptown Karate. He's teammates with Stephen Thompson, and he's got that same style. He's got that explosive karate, and I've always wanted to bring an American karate guy over to Japan because I know his style is going to be a fan favorite.
Damien Shoko Sato, a guy who also brings the violence. 17 finishes in the first round, 15 knockouts, 2 submissions, 23 finishes overall. Another fight that possibly won't go the distance.
Yeah, for sure. And I think Tokoro is probably going to have some reach on his side as well, and he's got that nice long right hand down the pipe when he wants it. As you said, a fair few knockout finishes there. He knows how to find a home for his shots. Probably not at 48 years old are we going to expect him to be super active in terms of volume, but he's definitely going to be able to...
So there he is, Shoko Sato, former Shuto Bantamweight champion, 3-2 in RIZIN.
Yeah.
Former soccer player is a young man.
Shoko's definitely a veteran of the sport, and he's really good at breaking down his opponents. And he neutralizes, he finds the holes, and he digs into them. So he's like one of those veterans, the masters, who can break down a new opponent.
Shingo, when you're making these matches and you give the guys the phone call, how many ums and ahs do you get, or do most guys accept the fight straight away?
Shoko's like, I want this fight, thank you so much. I want to face North American strong fighters with a pedigree, you know, and he's a former LFA champion. He is exactly what Shoko Sato wants. He's not one of those guys who's like, well, give me an easy fight. This fight doesn't make any sense. This guy's tough. He's got credibility. I want to fight him. So that's the mindset that Shoko has, and he took this fight in a split second.
Fight number 4 at the Ariake Arena tomorrow as RIZIN kicks off season 2026. RIZIN.52. It starts at 2 p.m. Japan time. And make sure you book the pay-per-view live worldwide on RIZIN TV. Joining myself and Damien Brown, Lenny Hart and all the crew for what should be an amazing show. We will be sold out tomorrow at Ariake Arena.
Thank you. I'm excited.
They both look good, don't they, Shingo? They both look in shape.
Yeah. So because I was concerned because in his last fight in LFA, he missed weight by a lot. So when we signed him, we made sure that, because 61 kilo is 134.4. It's under the bantamweight division. It's like, hey, can you make weight? Are you sure? Are you sure? He's like, hey, I'm a professional. When I say yes, I'm going to commit. He committed. So I'm excited.
And I think a lot of people don't know there's no allowance in Japan.
There is no allowance.
So the weight is the weight. It's 61.5.
Bantamweight is a tough one for US fighters.
Yeah.
Fight number 5 on tomorrow's card is South Korea versus Japan. Again, is Kyung-Pyo Kim takes on Yusuke Yachi. One of my favorites here, Shingo, Yusuke Yachi. Every time he fights, he brings it. I really enjoy watching him. He's tied for the 2nd most fights in RIZIN history at 20 and tied for the 4th most wins in RIZIN at 12. He's been around forever.
Yeah, I mean, he started off with a bang. He's had his ups and downs, but he's back on his winning column. He's asked for this fight for so long. This was supposed to happen last year. Or maybe, I think 2 years ago. It was scheduled once. It didn't happen because Kim kind of injured himself. Yachi has still been asking for this fight, and he's finally getting it.
Kyung-Pyo Kim, Damien, the man known as the Red Horse, 8-3 in his last 11, 3-1 in RIZIN. And again, it's that intensity of that international rivalry between South Korea and Japan.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, it's a good one because it happens pretty much on every card. We get to see something like that. And this one will be no different. These guys were super respectful to each other earlier. I've seen, you know, there's a lot of animosity probably between some guys on the card. These guys were very respectful. And, you know, I think tomorrow night we get to see a really good martial arts display without the emotions behind it, hopefully. So I also noticed that Yachi he's bigger at lightweight than most of his opponents. Maybe a little bit taller here, but he didn't look much bigger earlier when I seen both these guys together. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out as well.
So Kyung Kyo Kim of South Korea, Yosuke Yachi at 71 kilos tomorrow at the Ariake Arena. Shingo, that show we did last year in Korea obviously went crazy. It was a huge reception, and it's contributed a lot to the Korean fighters we're seeing on this card and in future cards this year.
Absolutely, and that's a great part of having international events is you get to actually see the talent, you get to add more people and introduce RIZIN and vice versa. So a lot of that stuff is definitely continuous this year.
So you hear the name, there he is, the legend himself, the former Dream Bantamweight Grand Prix champion, 48 years old, Hideo Tokoro, who made his pro debut back in 2000.
He looks like he is in shape.
Amazing. It looks like the Tokoro, the janitor from the Dream days. He'll take on Jinosuke Kashimura. Again, Shingo, how did this one come about? How did you get Tokoro to step in the ring again?
Tokoro-san, he's looking for he's an artist at this point. He's taking his career and performing into art. So he's always been thinking about, how do I leave? How do I leave the sport? How do I hang him up? And every time, it's all about when do I leave? When do I call it? But he keeps on going. The story continues. He's got so much to offer, and he keeps on winning. So this one was set because Tokoro wanted to challenge himself again. This year is going to be different. He said he wants 2 more. Kashimura Jinosuke grew up watching him. Tokoro is his idol. And now it's, for Kashimura, it's especially a very, very special matchup. And there's nothing but respect between these two. And they share the same style. I don't know what's going to happen.
So, how would you have felt if you had to fight your idol?
Well, 71 fights. Is there anyone in the world that's fought at this level that's had 71 fights? I don't know, but with that kind of experience, he's going to have all sorts of tricks if he needs them tomorrow. So it should be a really good one.
So we move on to fight number 7 on tomorrow's card. It is Brazil versus Japan as Carlos Mota takes on Yuki Ito. Quick onto the scales here for this one. And there he is, Carlos Mota.
This one's going to be so exciting. If you don't know Carlos Mota, you will know Carlos Mota tomorrow.
Former LFA flyweight champion, born and raised in Rio de Janeiro. Former soccer player before committing himself to martial arts, Carlos Mota, and he takes on this man, Yuki Ito, the number 10 ranked flyweight contender in RIZIN. Former Rings 55 kilo champion, deep flyweight title challenger, a man who went 11-0 at the start of his amateur and pro career combined. And again, Shingo, fireworks in this one, I predict.
Man, the flyweight division has been on fire since last year. The successful Grand Prix, we got Oikibo as a champion, and then we got all these newcomers and new names coming into the division. We got Takaki Soya Laramie, Arai, Junghyung Lee. This card is decorated with great flyweight fights.
Yuki Ito always brings it, but possibly against his toughest opponent yet here, Damien.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely no doubt about that. But Yuki Ito, from a striking perspective, is so clean, his angles, his distance, all that sort of stuff. It's so nice to watch. It's very artistic the way that he strikes, but very aggressive. He's always looking for the finish, and he can smell blood in the water when he gets it. But he's up against it 6-0, as a pro. He's coming out here to make a statement, isn't he, from the US?
Definitely. And he is currently the current knockouts unlimited world champion. Unlimited rules and knockouts is really interesting. I can talk about it later, but it's a very exciting striking only MMA-ish fights. And he's a champion at that. So he knows how to throw grounding kicks. He knows how to follow up on strikes. This guy is a mean striking machine.
Couple of mean females up next as Saori Oshima takes on Kate Lotus, all Japanese battle. 2 highly popular females here, Shingo.
Yeah, highly popular. That's an understatement. Yeah, Kate Lotus has a huge following and developed, and clearly she's not just for show. She's on a 4-fight winning streak. She's been beating seasoned veterans. She's been beating talented, international competition. And hopefully she can overcome this very, very talented and accomplished Saori Oshima.
A top of the rankings battle here. Saori Oshima, the number 1 ranked super atomweight contender in RIZIN, and Kate Lotus, the number 3 ranked super atomweight contender in RIZIN. Lotus going 2-1 in RIZIN, the former karate star. And Oshima 4-1 in RIZIN 2021 Deep Jewels Atomweight Grand Prix champion. Another cracking fight here, Damien.
Yeah, look at the height and reach advantage that she has just right there.
Oh, that's significant.
That's a massive difference, especially at this weight, where you would think that the strength and power is not going to be a big factor, but trying to get inside of that range is going to be a real issue.
Oh yeah,
Oshima
always utilized her grappling and judo technique, so she's going to have to get inside. And how's she going to do that with such a significant reach advantage?
Former All Japan Amateur Judo champion Saori Ishima. 7 first-round finishes for her, 10 of 14 wins by finish, including 8 submissions and 2 knockouts. And there's that huge height and reach differential, obvious from that stare down. Once again, folks, don't forget, book it on RIZIN TV live worldwide. Our pay-per-view begins at 2 p.m. Japan time tomorrow from the Ariake Arena. And once again, it is crowded to my left here. If only we could show you how many fans are here in Shinagawa just to get a glimpse of these superstars appearing on stage behind us as RIZIN.52 kicks off what will be the biggest year yet for RIZIN, Shingo. No doubt about that. There's lots of surprises coming up this year for RIZIN fans.
Oh, absolutely. We've got all sorts of events lined up this year. Obviously, the Saitama Super Arena is under construction, but we got some great venues and locations ready for this year, lined up.
Okay, we move into the business end of the card, and we have Viktor Kolesnik of Russia taking on Koji Takeda. Takeda coming on short notice here, replacing Ayamoto, who's injured himself.
Takeda is the man. He took the fight on a 36-hour notice. He made weight. He cut 9 kilos in 36 hours.
Damien, you fought him, you beat him. What does Takeda do well? What does he need to do against Viktor Kolesnik?
Well, I mean, Takeda, he just needs to do what he does. It's not always going to be super entertaining and super exciting, but we know that his wrestling is his asset. That's you know, and I always say, like, he's going to give you a frequent flyer miles. Like, he's not looking to mat return you. He's looking to suplex you after suplex after suplex after suplex. And early on in his career, he got his submissions and that from that, but you know, that's really his asset that no one else can match. Well, I say most people can't. But
considering the preparation time, and he just focused on cutting weight just 2 days to come here, do you think he'll really be able to utilize his wrestling style? Like, how long will his gas tank last?
So I think the thing is exactly that. How long does the gas tank last after a 9 kilo weight cut, essentially overnight? Only time will tell, but he's been wrestling for years, so he's going to be able to fall back onto that wrestling. You would think if he's able to implement that kind of plan, then his energy system should be used to being able to do that for that period of time, and I don't think it'll be an issue. If he gets caught in a striking battle, I think his gas tank's going to be way worse come the second round, because it's not an energy system that he's used to. So, but props to him, 36 hours notice, 9 kilos, and comes in to fight Kolesnik, who is no doubt looking to bounce back from a big loss.
Koji Takeda, the former deep lightweight champion, 2-7 against international fighters, 5-1 against Japanese fighters. So against international opponents, never really luck has been on his side, but can he turn that around tomorrow? And sometimes, Damien, when guys come in on short notice because there's no expectation on them, they cause the upsets.
Yeah, for sure. They definitely could come in and cause an upset. And let's not forget that Kolesnik was facing someone who was probably going to strike with him. So he's just done a full camp around a super aggressive fighter, you know, 9-0, finishes. And now he's facing someone that's just going to shoot for a takedown, because that's the best way for him to win on short notice. So, you know, it's a completely different style opponent. So while we give props to Koji Takeda, we should also give props to Kolesnik for taking, not just taking a new opponent, but taking an opponent that's got completely different style to whatever his training camp was.
Oh yeah, because Victor was already 69 kilos when he got the call.
Yeah, I seen him at breakfast eating, having a meal this morning. I thought it was kind of strange, but I missed the 71 kilo.
So Takeda mentioned earlier that, you know, I took the fight because I'm confident. I've been training, I'm not lazy, I'm always training, I'm always ready. All I had to do is cut weight, so people don't worry, I am ready. That's a very confident statement.
Takeda's fought so many great names over the years. You know, just look at the list: Johnny Case, Zach Zane, this man Damian Brown, Spike Carlisle, Luis Gustavo. It goes on and on. He's also fought Razabali Shadalayev. I mean, he's been around. The guy knows what to do to get wins. And I've got the feeling here that we could see an upset Shingo.
Absolutely. I think it might happen. Like, he's fought the best and all international tough competition. And for him, this is no different than any other fight that he's had in RIZIN.
Danger fight, Damien. It really is for Kolesnik.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, like I said, he hasn't prepared for a wrestler. You would think, like, we're all, mixed martial artists. That's what they do. So they should be doing all of that training. But whether they're preparing for a person that's a specialist in a certain area or not, that's a whole different story.
Oh yeah.
Ryo Takagi versus Shuya Kimura is fight number 10 on tomorrow's card, live worldwide on RIZIN TV, 2 p.m. Japan time from Ariake Arena. All Japanese battle, third from last fight on the card. I know you're looking forward to this one, Damien.
Yeah, I think this one will probably start slow and finish fast. And I don't mean finish fast by the third round. I think we'll get a little bit of feeling out period. We'll get a low action in terms of volume, and then I think when one of these guys pull the trigger, we might get ourselves a pretty aggressive knockout.
Kimura, the Kempo star, of course, began training in Kempo as a 3-year-old. We've seen him use that Kempo in the ring successfully, Shingo, and it's nice when you see traditional martial arts translate to mixed martial arts.
Oh, definitely. And the great thing about Kempo is that when they shoot in, when they dart in, blitz in, they know they can land. That distance management that they have, I've done all my research in Conan with counters. Like, he has the most accuracy in landing his strikes, which means that he never misses. Like, he rarely misses. So when he blitzes in, he knows that he's going to hit. It's going to land. So that's one key factor here.
Damien, for those people who like the aesthetics of traditional martial arts of karate, they're going to enjoy watching Shuya Kimura tomorrow. But Takagi poses a whole lot of problems.
Yeah, well, we got the speed and the distance from Kimura, but obviously he's going to need to get inside of that range. So if Takagi can be first and pop his strikes out there, and a lot of karate guys, even though they got good angles, they do come in on a straight line. So if he can put something out there and make it a little harder for Kimura to make those reads and make those entries, he might just catch him on the way in, and that's what I think he could do tomorrow.
So that is fight number 10 on tomorrow's card from the Ariake Arena, RIZIN.52, RIZIN TV, which means we have 2 more remaining. And up next it will be Luis Gustavo and Taisei Sakuraba. So Gustavo's coach, his idol, Wanderlei Silva, fought Taisei Sakuraba's father, the great Kazushi Sakuraba, some 25 years ago. So as we say, Shingo, pretty much 25 years in the making for this one. Sakuraba family once again against Wanderlei Silva's family.
Yeah. If you've seen Sakuraba's last fight, he fought exactly like his dad did. It's not a traditional MMA fighter. Like, now MMA has grown so much as a sport. The technique, everything is so much more purified. But Sakuraba brings 25 years back.
But how about the striking we saw last time from Sakuraba? I didn't expect it. No, you were blown away as well. He looked like a kickboxer.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, I think the thing is, we look at the name and we look at the background and we look at the history and we expect that he's going to come out and grapple everyone. And, with his quintet experience and stuff like that, I think if you look into it, that's probably what everyone expected. But he came out and he looked great. And he's got height, he's got reach. He's a big lightweight. Like, I think there's no reason if he has striking that he shouldn't start to implement that. And he came in to RIZIN, made his pro debut. Like, he's growing here, he's building here, so we're going to see him start to use these things, and it's exciting to think what his future is.
Which version of him shows up tomorrow? The striking version or the grappling version? Or the hybrid?
If I was him, I'd be showing up as a grappler tomorrow.
The thing is, though, he mentioned that he doesn't want to shoot for the takedown because that's a defensive takedown. When you shoot in without striking, you're not pushing the pace. So he needs to take initiative with the striking and utilizing his tackle. So he's going to strike.
Shingo, do the new rules that come into play tomorrow for the first time change the approach of the fighters as compared to how they approached in the past?
I think it does heavily, because regardless of what's happening behind the whole points, you have to win the round, right? So you have to win 3 5-minute rounds opposed to winning 15 minutes.
So, I mean, how does Gustavo approach Sakuraba tomorrow? How does he beat Gustavo?
I think he needs to take Gustavo down and look for a takedown nice and early. But I think, like Shingo said, he obviously understands that he needs to mix his striking in to get an effective offensive takedown and to get the fight to the mat in a way where he's straight on the offense with the submission.
And how does Luis beat Sakuraba?
Well, I mean, he has to go there and do what he does every single time. The thing that makes him so exciting is that even before he smells blood in the water, he's looking for a knockout. It doesn't matter. I actually don't think he sets everything up really well. I just think he's so aggressive and so violent that he's a fan-friendly kind of fighter, and he's looking to knock you out, not with the third or fourth punch from a good setup. Like, every punch he throws is a power punch. Every punch he throws is a finishing punch. And that's what makes him exciting. So, you know, he needs to be careful that he doesn't get caught in a bit of a grappling battle. Not that he can't hang out there, but it's probably not his way of winning tomorrow. So, you know, he's going to go out there and look for a knockout, that's for sure.
And as we said earlier, Shingo, what we're hearing at the moment is no Kazushi Sakuraba tomorrow in his son's corner, but you never know. Rick could rock up at Ariake Arena and he might be there.
Exactly, he might be there for the fans. So, hey, I gotta go translate Pachi, but this one's gonna be a great fight.
So we thank Shingo for joining us as always, and this is our co-main event, of course, Gustavo versus Sakuraba. Watch the pay-per-view live worldwide on RIZIN TV. Tomorrow, while you're on RIZIN TV, book yourself a premium pass, access all of our pay-per-views and over 700 hours of content on RIZIN TV. It's time for our main event now. Kiyoma Akimoto, the 19-year-old, takes on Pachi Mix. Damien, anyway, you cut this one. What a sensational main event.
Yeah, this is an incredible fight. When I seen this fight announced, I actually messaged Shingo. I was so excited about it. I was surprised that, you know, maybe the UFC released Pachi after 2 fights. Because I didn't really think he got a fair go, but I'll tell you what, I'm also happy they did, because it's good to see him here in RIZIN. And he's the kind of fighter that's explosive and should, out of all the international fighters we get here, he should really understand the RIZIN rules and look for those, you know, aggressive grounded strikes and stuff that we, you know, guys probably struggle a little bit to adopt into their style. But this is a very exciting fight.
You use the word impressive there, Damien. It is the ideal word to sum up 19-year-old Kiyoma Akimoto, who I think turns 20 in just a couple of days' time. So can he get the biggest win of his career while he's still a teenager?
Yeah, for sure. I actually believe his birthday is the day after, so people can check out the Confession Series videos on YouTube for that. And his birthday is the day after the fight, so it's an exciting fight for him. It's a big opportunity to face the international guy who 6 years ago was here and got himself a victory. And you know, he's looking to work his way to the title, and he did say about the champion, he's 17-0 with 17 finishes, but he hasn't faced me. So Akimoto can put a stop to that tomorrow night and put himself right there as well, because, you know, we all know Shoto needs a good challenger, and I'd say the winner of tomorrow night's fight puts themselves right in that mix.
Well, Pachi has certainly let that be known. He said it when he re-signed with RIZIN. He goes, my aim is Razabali Shoto. I want him on New Year's Eve, but you can't afford to consider Akimoto as any sort of stepping stone, Damien.
No, I definitely wouldn't. I think early, and I say early, he's already not, like, he's only 19, but at 17, 18 years of age, people would have said maybe Pachi Mix just going to take him down and sub him. But we've seen that he has been caught before. He's gone away and made adjustments, and he's done a lot of grappling. And I think that he's much more well-rounded than he was, but he is still better as a striker. And here we see these guys getting in each other's face.
Well, that's the closest stare down we have seen tonight. Some words there from Pachi Mix.
And Pachi Mix is going to need to be careful shooting him for takedowns.
Oh, head to head.
That's unplanned or unset up. Because Akimoto will catch him.
You could feel that stare down. Akimoto not afraid to put his forehead on that of Pachi Mix, and Pachi having some words with the 19-year-old, maybe feeling a little disrespected by Akimoto. Let's hear from Pachi.
Tomorrow night I'm gonna whoop his fucking ass. I'm here to do one job.
俺の仕事はただ一つ、こいつをボコボコにすることだ。
Thank you. 秋元選手お願いします。
もう本当にもう覚悟も決まってるんで、必ずボッコボコにしてもう最高の誕生日迎えようと思ってるんで、皆さんどうなっても必ず勝ちます。お願いします。
お互いにボコボコにする宣言です。間違いなくフィニッシュで決着はつくでしょう。ありがとうございました。Thank you.
So Akamoto concluding there saying, whatever happens tomorrow, I will win and I'm going to have the best birthday of my life. So he's looking for a birthday celebration, and you heard Patchy Mix in no uncertain terms saying he's going to kick his derriere tomorrow. Damien, anyway that main event goes the distance, because most fans I talk to, most pundits I talk to, most experts I talk to say Patchy's going to finish Akamoto, but we know this kid can do unthinkable things inside the ring.
Look, I think that if you look at both of their history, that's what you should probably expect people to say, right? But I think as someone that's watched essentially Akamoto grow up in the ring, I just don't think that he could be that big an underdog. I think he finds a home for his shots very well. He makes adjustments when his opponents do. He's able to cut nice angles, he has good distance, and he's developed his grappling a lot better than what it was in the past. And so I just don't think that people can, look past him. I don't think that Patchy Mix should look past him either. I think that he could cause an upset tomorrow night, if that's what you want to call it. I personally wouldn't call it that. I think the matchup's been made for a reason, Shingo, but I think he could cause an upset tomorrow night.
Let's state that reason. We mentioned it earlier that you're saying the winner of this probably gets Shadolaev somewhere down the line, if not closer, maybe further, but is that the reason the match is made here, Shingo?
Yeah, I mean, right now, Shadolaev has been running through the division. He's pretty much cleaned out the division.
Undefeated, and he's beaten everyone inside of 2 rounds.
Yeah, and we need somebody to face him. Obviously he's fighting Kubo, but what's next, maybe, right? So neither of these guys, both of these guys have the potential. Whoever wins this fight can get all the hype to see maybe this is the guy, right? So for us, in matchmaking wise, it makes sense. The winner gets all the hype. And still, for Akimoto, he's 19 years old. He gets an experienced grappler. Now, let me tell you this, I'm sorry. He's been training with Shinya Aoki for the past a month and a half. Aoki, one of the most, vocal guys out, the verbal guys out there, he has stated that after 3 weeks of training with the kid, I can't submit him. I'm having a hard time.
Aoki can't submit him.
Aoki said, after 3 weeks, this kid is observing technique like a sponge at an stupid rate. Wow. He's getting better every day, and after 3 weeks, Aoki cannot submit Akimoto.
I heard the same thing because I was talking to another training partner of Akimoto, Zaka Guskape, and he said Akimoto is looking super sharp. They've been working the ground so much, the grappling so much, and he's blown away by how good the 19-year-old looks as well.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun one. And obviously, Apache's very confident. Once he gets your back, he's going to finish you. He's going to work, and he's going to finish you. It's one of those things where once Apache gets the back, what's going to happen? Is Akimoto going to be able to fight it off? Which a lot of people now are starting to think they can. So, this is super exciting. It makes sense to make this fight happen.
Folks, once again, join us tomorrow live worldwide on RIZIN TV from the Ariake Arena. Go to RIZIN.TV, book the pay-per-view. Myself, Damien Brown, Lenny Hart, all the crew on 12 fights. And it is going to be a hell of a card to kick off 2026. Shingo, we'll see you there tomorrow at Ariake Arena. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
And Damien, can't wait to be on the microphone with you tomorrow, brother. It's going to be an absolute cracker. Join us, folks. Until then, be safe. We'll see you tomorrow live worldwide from the Ariake Arena for RIZIN 52.